friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Eso, this is Eso Tarot, and in today's Pick a Source packet reading, we are going to be looking at how does, oh, we have a thought? Yes, you do. Actually, you have 4 choices and options. Thank you, Hermit Tarot deck, for letting us know that. I don't know how that popped out, but that's one of the decks we'll be using later on. That being said, we are going to be looking at how the person you are asking about feels, or what their energy is, what goes through their mind when they see you. Now, you can ask both about people that you've met in person, people that you've never met before. The reason why I said see is very important. So if you've been with this person in person in general or recently, then it'll be more tailored to how they feel or what their energy is when they're with you. Still counts as seeing, I guess. And if you've never met in person or haven't seen them since some sort of significant shift, or haven't seen them in a really long time, then it'll be how they see you, what goes through their mind, how do they feel, yada, yada, yada. If they see you in passing in public or on social media, however they do see you. So that's going to be like the majority part of the reading. I'm just going to be doing a typical little ISO spread. And then we are going to get channel messages from the Hermit Tarot channel messages deck from them to just go a bit deeper, see what they can clarify, see if there's anything they want to say about it. And then we're just going to finish off with some guidance for your situation with them. So with that being said, we have 4 different groups for you to choose from today, with 4 different tarot decks on top and 4 different levels of spice, but also 4 different types of sauces, each one having a little message on them. So don't feel pressured to pick the hottest one just because you feel like that's gonna be. Pay attention to the message on each packet. I feel like that might be significant for each group, or helpful in terms of picking if you're having trouble. But you can always pick more than one too. So starting with group number 1, we have the Cosmic Slumber Tarot and this mild sauce packet that has the phrase "you so get me" on it, on top. And then for group number 2, we are going to be using the Kitten Nugget Tarot, and I have this hot sauce on top with the phrase "too good not to be true," or "too good to not be true." Love that. Then for group number 3, we have this tarot deck that I have forgotten the name of, and I can't seem to see where I left the box. So this is a good opportunity to remind you that I always list all of the decks I'm using in the description box down below. Thank you to those who appreciate that, because it does actually take a bit of time. And with this fire sauce packet on top that says "take me home." And my Appalachian self, now all I can hear is country roads. Take me home. Okay, and then finally for group number 4, we are going to be using the Sasuraibito Tarot, and I have this Diablo sauce packet on top that says "oh, the anticipation," which makes me think of Rocky Horror. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. I would not be shocked if multiple different people come through here. But if you do get a group and it sounds like you, unless you think this person would be mirroring the same energies as you, I would go pick a different group unless you want to hear about yourself. But I do not want to hear you complain if you get yourself and you're unwilling to try another group. That's not my problem. You literally could just choose a different one. But I respect your freedom to choose to not be resourceful, if that is the case. It was kind of shady, but with peace and love, like, I do so much to try to get y'all to see that you don't have to sit through your own reading if you don't want to, unless you enjoy it, then you should. That being said, once you picked your deck or decks, you can scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all the timestamps listed below. And then intro squad, my question for you is a test of sorts, a curiosity of sorts. I've heard before that whatever sign is in the 12th house of your chart, you need to know your rising sign, or you need to know your birth time in order to get this information, by the way. But I digress. In the 12th house, whatever sign is in there, that is supposed to be how you act when, and I'm not supposed to be in terms of like, this is 100% truth, but I've seen it be described as that is how you are likely, that sign's energy is how you are likely to act when you're under the influence or inebriated. So my 12th house energy, the sign in my 12th house is Virgo. And I feel like that makes so much sense because like, even when I am inebriated, I still have it together. Like, I never understood the notion of like, oh, people drink to feel less anxious, because like, I feel just as anxious when I drink. Like, I'm just anxious more about like acting stupid and like worrying about my friends and like making sure that everyone's okay. Like, I feel like, and I also tend to attract like a lot of like, I don't want to call it like lost souls when I'm inebriated, like, because if you're out, right? But I find myself like being in a sort of like supportive, gentle, therapeutic kind of vibe. Like, not literally therapeutic, but at the very least, like, definitely being of service sometimes when it should be just having fun, because I can't not like be there for someone, you know, when they're having a tough time. And so I think it's just really interesting. Like, I had a girls' night out once where I definitely had too much soju in New York City. And I'm not a city girl by nature. So despite whatever was going on in my body as a result of some fun but reckless decisions, I did not black out until I got back to my hotel room and got everyone else back to theirs. That was my priority, and I did not check out until that happened. And I just feel like that's so Virgo, like taking care of everyone till the end, making sure everyone is taken care of. Okay, then you can let go. So I want to know what sign is in your 12th house, and does the energy of that sign kind of match how you are when you're inebriated or under the influence? I would just be really interested to know, because like, I felt it to be really true. And one of the things that like I was never really able to relate to around a lot of other people is like, yeah, but I don't let myself go when I'm, you know, in those environments. And that's a big reason why I'm not in those environments a lot, because I can't like, you know, take my worries away, which in a way, it's a huge blessing in so many ways. And I'm actually really grateful for it. Especially just because it's good to, you know, have someone that's watching out for everyone else who can let go and have fun. But I just want to know, like, can you, you know, if your 12th house is in Virgo, can you relate? Or, you know, if you have any planets in there, does that impact it? Or anyone that knows more about astrology than me, drop it down below. I want to know. Can test in, let me know if it matches. And also let me know if it doesn't match and it doesn't make sense. I'm just curious and I'm just interested. And I think it's an interesting topic. And of course, this is not me like condoning reckless activity or behavior, but I think it's a natural human desire to just want to let go and be silly sometimes when we're adults. So there's no shame in that. And you know what? If you want to get mad and be like, drinking is low vibrational, being judgmental is pretty low vibrational too. So yeah. Okay. With that being said, I think also worrying about other people's vibrations is kind of low vibrational. Yeah, let's just stay in our lanes and have fun. Which is the whole point of this reading today. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which group you feel most drawn to. Like I said, absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. And once you have picked your group or groups, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile one. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the mild sauce packet that says "You So Get Me," and ma'am, please lay there. Okay, and the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. This is going to be your reading on how the person you are asking about, the person on your mind, feels when they are with you, either in person or when they see you. I specified which one to take in the intro. If you didn't check that part out, you probably should, just to clear up confusion. Because I am going to be doing interpretations for both, unless there's like one super clear interpretation. This doesn't have to be a love reading. You can really ask about anyone, but you may have to filter out the messages that are not for platonic or familial connections. With that being said as well, go ahead now, and while I'm shuffling the deck, just focus on the cards and set the intention, or even ask out loud that the person you are wanting to hear about comes through. And maybe even ask too, if this reading isn't for you, let it show you a sign, or if it is for you, let it show you a sign. The one thing I will say is that if I start talking about things like, well, for example, like, oh, this person regrets something, and you're like, but I met them yesterday, like that would probably be like, I don't think that's your reading. I would try a different group. And like I said, you can ask about multiple people, different groups. No rules. Just don't take messages that are not for you. And if it sounds like you, it might be you. But if the person that I'm reading about, if there's mirroring energy between the two of you, it's quite possible that the same things that you're feeling and experiencing, they are too. So, all right. I'm actually really proud of my ability to shuffle these cards decently, because they are quite thick. Okay. Person on group number one's mind. All right, let's get to shuffling. Person group one is asking about the person on group one's mind, spirit. How do they feel when they see group one, or when they're with group one? Okay, we have strength. What else? We have the Hermit. It's interesting. Literally working on those cards for my Cards and Stars class right now. Love that they're coming out to play. What else, please? We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Fool. And, oh, okay, that's tea. On the back of the deck, we have the Two of Cups. Okay, I saw that Six of Wands want to pop out, so there could definitely be a pride issue at play. I mean, well, we have strength here. There could definitely be a pride issue at play. Let's lay out your oracles now. I need to use this deck more often. It's so beautiful. Okay, so starting with your oracles, we have adjacent possibilities. We have Spy. We have the Bat. We have Commitment. And we have the Mother. Okay. There's going to be tea in this one, I can see. And there's likely a couple of different scenarios that are going to apply here. Okay, let me just make sure everything's in the frame. Yes, it is. Let's go. So, the person that you were asking about, this is definitely someone who you've either never been romantically involved with, someone you were romantically involved with in the past. I literally just heard for some of you, this could be like a baby daddy, I don't use the words baby daddy very often. Actually, I don't even know if I've ever used those words on this channel. So that could be significant. This could be someone that you share children with, or this could just be someone from your past. If you are married to someone and have children with them and are like in your own space in life, this is definitely your reading. You don't have to have children though. You don't have to be married. There's just so many different scenarios that I'm seeing, and I'm already hearing the word lurking. So I don't feel like this is someone in your immediate space, especially given the Hermit card being here. This is definitely someone who sees you online, I'm seeing, or sees you through social media, hears about you through word of mouth. They definitely lurk. And one thing that I'm even hearing as well is that if you've seen like an account that looks like a spam account or a random account, and you wondered if it might be this person, I think it could be. It could also though be the account of one of their friends that they are using to lurk on you, which is actually really like impressive, because I don't even have the energy to go on like my official social media. I avoid it like the plague. So I'm like, damn, that's some commitment and some energy to make fake ones too. But this is definitely someone who feels a really strong, deep connection to you and carries a light when it comes to you. I do feel like though this person lingers between fantasy and reality when it comes to you. For some of you, maybe you don't even know who this person is. This could be someone who admires you from afar, or maybe even literally found you online. For others, maybe this is someone you interacted with online and things never really got to IRL, like things fizzled out. This person could have even disappeared on you, and like and you just kind of had to move on with your life. This could also be somebody who you know, like for example, if you co-parent with them or something, this could be someone that, you know, you've set very clear boundaries with. Like this is not like they don't really have much access to your life beyond whatever clear boundaries are there. Or this could be somebody who is an ex or someone from your past that is checking up on you. And that message hits especially hard for those of you that have moved on with someone else that are very happy, because one of the things that I see and that that they feel, if you have children with someone else, they definitely like, they feel dumb and they feel sad that it's not them. One thing that I'm seeing for pretty much everyone here is that this person regrets or feels like they it's funny, I was talking about regrets in the beginning of the group and I didn't know what was going to come out. So it does seem like they regret behavior in their past, I wish I wouldn't have met you when I was young and dumb kind of thing. But this could very well be someone who is trying to move on with their life. Like they know like you're unavailable to them, but they can't help but think about, yeah, but what if they gave me a second chance? What if they did forgive me? What if they would be open to something like that? I feel like this person is somebody who will probably always leave a door open for you. And for some of you, you're like, that's fine, let them get a draft. I'm not interested in walking through that door, which is funny. Whoever you are funny, and you definitely, I must say, whoever you are, you have really strong boundaries, and I'm very impressed with them, and I'm sure those boundaries came at the expense of some really hard experiences, but I'm very proud of you. Whatever you've done to grow and heal and prioritize yourself, I can see it here, and I think that's awesome. Especially because for some of you, like I feel like for some of you, this wasn't like, this didn't end horribly. This wasn't a negative experience. This isn't a negative person, but just like life and time and reality, you know, just made it so that, you know, like things weren't meant to be, things weren't meant to happen. But this person they still feel like you guys could be something someday. Unless they did something so egregious and messed up, and in that case they know that they'll never have a chance with you, but that doesn't stop them from fantasizing, lurking, seeing what's up with you anyway. Because the reality is that this person feels a very strong connection with you, with strength. They also do have a big ego though. And they are someone who, number one, you could have been like, you don't have, this mother card doesn't have to be like that you're literally a parent, but I do think that if you had a relationship with them in the past, that they felt very nurtured and cared for by you. You might have felt like a parent in the relationship where it's like, I thought we were supposed to be partners, not a child. Or this person could have always envisioned you as like the future parent of their children or something like that, and they haven't let go of that. Especially if you have, if you do have a family of your own and it's not related to this person, they definitely feel this kind of sense of like, that was supposed to be us. Like, is that gonna be us? Like, there's this feeling of insecurity and defensiveness when they lurk and see, you know, your happy life, and they see, you know, you being in a commitment with someone else. I think they might be just very like, they might feel insecure, they might feel jealous, they might feel defensive of your partner. And if you've never met this person, I would say, like, especially like, you may never meet them, you may never even know that they feel this way about you, or if this person kind of disappeared, I would even say as well, like, you probably, like, you may never hear from them again, and that might be hurtful to say, but also, I don't know. The reason why I say, like, it doesn't seem like you would hear from them, at least right now, is because it seems like you have your own life and your own world going on. Like, if this isn't someone, this is someone that you're always curious about, but, you know, and maybe you've been thinking about them randomly recently, like, this could be, that could be a sign that this is who is coming through. And also, thank you guys for being patient with me as I get all of these different interpretations out, because there are so many here, and I want to do every single situation justice. Adjacent possibilities of what your circumstances are, and I gotta open every door to make sure I clear every room. This person definitely, like, nobody would know how deep this person's feelings run for you. And if you've been with them in the past, I actually think one thing that they really effed up on, I straight up just wanted to say, like, fucked up on, trying to do that less, because we just started this reading, and I don't know, I try not to cash in my swear cards too early into a reading. They recognize that the depths of their feelings didn't match their actions. Like, I feel like they look back and they're like, man, I acted like I was too cool for school. I can't believe that, like, my ego came before group one. Like, I think they also realize as well, they felt safe with you. And if you guys were in a commitment together at one point, I do feel like they think about that and realize, like, how dumb they were to either let that go, or it's like they didn't understand the value of commitment, or they didn't understand, like they might understand the definition of commitment, but they may not understand what commitment looks like when things get hard. Like, I feel like commitment was easy for them when it felt easy, but then when commitment got real, they felt threatened and their ego got challenged. And I think that they still think about how they might have really blamed you for things or pushed you away in certain circumstances, where in reality, all you were doing was trying to be a supportive partner, a supportive person. And I think they think about the fact that, like, damn, I pushed group one away, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to fix that. I feel like they think about you a lot, they miss you a lot, and they do like to see what you're up to on your social media. I do feel like, though, they understand intellectually that they do need to move forward. Like, with this Fool card, like, there is that part of them that's like, okay, well, I can't change anything. Like, I just have to like keep moving forward. But I do think there's a part of them that also hopes that there might be a new beginning for the two of you. The Hermit card, in terms of like, when I said like this person may never like reach out to you, that was specifically to those of you who met this person online and they disappeared on you. It could partially be because this person may have been, I heard the word catfish, like, and it may be that they were who they said they were, but maybe there were things about their life that weren't true. Like, maybe they weren't meaning to fall for you, and then they did, and then they realized like, oh, I can never be with group one because they'll know I lied to them. They wouldn't be into who I really am, which only take that message if it resonates, because I do not want to, like, you'll know if that message is for you. For others, you know it's not. Even if they were real though, but you didn't meet them in person, it could very well be though that they, at the time when you guys were interacting, the thought of making things real, I think, was really scary to them. And also, I feel like they didn't know how they would even be able to make that happen, especially if there was distance or like visa issues or like something that like something daunting or something that would require them to be in a situation where, like, let's say, for example, you know, immigration is going to be like vetting them. It's like they didn't, oh, I'm hearing for some of you, this person could have overstayed their visa in your country before. And so it's like hard to immigrate there, or it's like, I don't know, it's something they're really ashamed of though. That makes me, and I feel like some of the things that this person is ashamed of, like, they're just objectively, like, they're not like shameful things. They just feel shameful to them because this person is pretty self-loathing. I do think that's why they weren't able to accept the love that you gave them in the past, if you have interacted with them. Even if it never got to the point of like being in an actual relationship, I do think that this person still sees you as someone like that, like kind of like their dream person, like someone that they would want to have a family with, they would want to be in a commitment with, but they recognize like, no, I'm okay being alone. Like, they might be looking at you and seeing like, oh, this person has moved on, they're happy, I need to move on too. But like, also, what if one day things work out? Wouldn't that be crazy? I do think that this person tries to avoid looking you up because it is painful to like see you, you know, happy and moved on, even if they're the ones even if they're the reason you guys don't talk anymore, even if they're the reason why, you know, you have stringent boundaries with them, even if they're the reason why any relationship you guys had, especially IRL, failed, you're a reminder of that, and it sucks for them. Well, for some of you, I just laugh because I'm like, oh, it sucks for them, huh? Imagine how it felt to be on the receiving end of some of that behavior. Because there's definitely a group of you where like, this person did some objectively messed up shit to you, and like callous disregard for your sovereignty, for you as a partner, for your feelings. And like, this person, it's interesting for some of you where that really clicks, and where you're like, where you feel like this person is a leopard that will likely never change their spots. I think you're spot on about that. That's a big reason why, like, I need to stress like how many different energies are in the room with us, because and why it's important to pinpoint the messages that are for you, because the caliber of character and the willingness to develop and for it to evolve and grow is heavily dependent on who this person is, and how you know them, what your history is. But trust your judgment. I definitely think that it's almost like there's a compulsion. Like, they try to avoid thinking about you, but then they see things, or all of a sudden they can't stop thinking about you. And then they're like, okay, I'll look once. And then they do, and then they either regret it. They almost feel like it's like a relapse, where like they try to move on, but there's just something that pulls them back to you. And one thing that I'm hearing is it does seem like your presence or just your energy or the thought of you is a catalyzing force in their world that forces them to look at what they avoid, period. Like with seeing this Fool card, it really makes me think of like, this person is the type of person that when they're panicked or scared or everything has gone to shit, or you know, their negligence has created a really bad situation, that they are like on their hands and knees praying to God, like, God, please save me from this. God, please help me fix this. I promise you, if you help me through this, I will donate all my belongings to families in need, and I will dedicate myself to Christ or to this service. I'll do all these things, and then whatever happens, the thing gets resolved, and it's like they literally forget that they ever thought that or did that. Like, this is definitely the type of person who is only vulnerable when they're desperate. And if they're not desperate, they're not going to show any insecurity, any bouts of criticism, like any self-criticism they have towards themselves. They definitely have a bit of a bravado to them, or at the very least, maybe they're not like for some of you, this person might be bodacious, which is an interesting word to come out, but for others, I feel like this person, they could be more internal and reserved, especially if this is someone you've never been like romantically involved with, or someone that you never ended up having a relationship with. Like I said, for a select few, this might be someone that you don't even know, but they feel very drawn to you, like their connection to you feels very strong. But the connection that actually exists between the two of you, like on your end, it could literally be non-existent. On your end, it could be, the door for that connection is closed. Or on your end, it's like, okay, yeah, I've thought about them, I've been curious, but like, they don't show up, they don't show around, like I don't even have a way to contact them. So how would I know that they've got all this going on? Which is completely understandable. Because for some of you, this person is just very like, it does seem like their true feelings for you, and how deep their feelings run for you is a bit of a secret. I don't feel like they like to show people that. And I do feel like as well, they're really good at leaving doors open so that they've always got a way out of whatever situation they're in. And maybe that's something that happened to you. Like, this person could have been lurking, like you guys could have been together and they could have been lurking with exes on social media. For some of you, this person like could do this as a pattern where they like, it literally feels like, and this is for a select few, this is not for everybody here, but and you'll know, those of you that resonate with this description, like you will know what I'm talking about. But this might be the type of person to really idealize and love bomb in the beginning of a situation. And the thing is I feel like that idealization and love bombing is like genuine. And so if you're like, if you beat yourself up and feel like you were stupid for believing that, I like need you to know that there was nothing off for you to pick up realistically, because their actions in that moment, what they said in that moment, was genuine. So like, of course you wouldn't question it. Of course you would trust it, because that was the truth of that moment for that person. The problem is that when things get real, when their ego gets defensive, and when they're seen clearly, when their shortcomings are on display, when they don't rise to the occasion, when their image is not who they want themselves to be, they run, they get defensive, they can be destructive, and they can push you away real fast. And I feel like with you specifically, even if you guys only had like an online connection, or even if this is an entirely parasocial connection where this person just idealizes you and fantasizes about you, they see you as somebody who is a truly valuable person, somebody who they see as the only or one of the only people to ever truly understand them, to truly get how they feel, to truly see beyond their facade, And for some of you, and for those of you that had a history or a past of this person, that was really confronting in a lot of ways. And I think actually there are times where you were just being compassionate or empathizing with them and feeling and sensing what was going on with them, and it made them mad because they couldn't hide it from you. I feel like they could have really lashed out or even punished you, like silent treatment type punishment, for you just like compassionately asking if everything's all right, or like tuning in to a part of them being like, I feel like, you know, this is bothering you, like, can we talk about it? Like they can get real defensive. But the thing is with this Two of Cups is like, they do feel like you guys had a true heart-to-heart connection, or they feel like you guys could if they never had that. And with that Nine of Cups here, I do feel like they kind of wish, like now when they see you, they wish they either would have done more to protect the relationship, done more to cultivate it if they ran away, or they wish they had that connection, like they regret what they lost. But at the same time, it's like they know, like, okay, I gotta move forward, like, okay, like, you know, my chance is over. But at the same time, they're like, but maybe someday in the future. And one thing I will see, like, I do see with those of you that are like, with those of you where this person is, they kind of, this person likes the idea of commitment, but when it comes to actually following through, I don't think that they're as, I feel like this person views commitment as ownership, and that's not all of them think that way, but for those of you where this person does it, I'm sure that phrase hit your truth radar. I think as well, they avoid certain feelings within them around, like, I feel like they avoid feelings of guilt around how they treated you in the past, or feelings of guilt around how maybe they didn't give you any explanation as to why they disappeared or things like that. Like, I think they could feel bad about that, but at the same time, it's like, why open up an old wound? Why go back there when, like, why go and bother group one in their own life when they're clearly moved on and happy? But like, I think this person acknowledges and knows, or not knows, but believes that there's a real deep connection between the two of you. And for some of you, especially if this person is at a distance and you haven't talked to them in a really long time, or you never met them and they just kind of went off the radar, I feel like in their mind, they see you as someone who's like, yeah, like, we definitely have a connection. Maybe one day, you know, if the stars align or something happens, but at the same time, I feel like they're like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, they'll always think of you, you'll always be in their heart, they'll always wonder about you, but it's kind of one of those just like quiet loves that's never explored. It's kind of one of those things, like, it feels like they're just accepting, allowing it to be a what if. It's better to leave it as a what if, so that they know that they wouldn't lose you, or that their fantasy would not be a reality, or that they would be wrong. Which, like, really does make me sad. Like, they would rather leave things open-ended and question what could have happened than actually follow through and see what would happen, because they're afraid of what would really happen, and how things might be different from their fantasy. Like, their fantasies are much different from their reality a lot of times. And I think this person likes the idea of a lot of things, but when it comes to how good they are at actually experiencing them and being involved in them, that's a bit of a different story. I do think, though, that they, especially late at night, is when they think about you and they reminisce, and then they wake up and then they're like, okay, simp mode over. I gotta go back to, I gotta move on. I gotta let go. But there's definitely a part of them that's always like, but what if? And I think they'll always carry a light for you. And I think for those of you who had this, like, who know this person, who are involved with this person, who even have like children with this person and are like fully closed, like done with that chapter of your life, I think this person will always love you and hold a light for you. and see you as like the one that, I think for a lot of you, this person sees you as the one that got away. And for others, this person sees you as like the one I let go. And I would say deep down, it's because they deserve better, or because I was too afraid to try and see what would happen. And I'm trying to accept that, but also that doesn't stop them from thinking about you time to time, being pulled into the energy of the connection that you shared. Like, even if you guys never met in person, this person still felt the intensity of what you shared. And I definitely think like Saturn energy could have been significant in keeping y'all from meeting IRL, or keeping y'all from staying together, or keeping this person from being able to show up in the ways that they wanted to. Like, I see either material restrictions, or restrictions related to like father energy. Like there could have been like a significant father energy here that was really influential in their life, or their ability to like step in, like, you know, for example, if you are giving more mother, like maybe they couldn't step up and be like a counterpart there. They couldn't be in their masculine or something like that. I don't know. All I do know is that it does seem like you're kind of a secret to the people in their life. They would never know that this person thinks about you. They would never know that this person whoa, okay. This is some tea. Whoever this message is for some of you, this person can be moved on with their own family, you know, in another commitment. And like, for example, if they did that when you guys were together, like looking at exes and stuff, they're probably doing that with this current partner. I think if this person has a partner, has a family, they could very well be comparing you to that partner and wishing that you were their partner, not their current partner. They might even use you as a way to kind of nag their own partner, which I really don't like. And this is hard, because like, this is a situation where you've got some people that are really, really like low-key just kind of innocent and insecure, and like maybe not the best at communication, and don't realize how harmful that is, like how that can be harmful, and are just, you know, too shy and too afraid to speak up. But then there's like, for others of you, it's like, this person was a damn fool, and like they learned through this situation, like their actions had consequences, you know what I mean? And now they're like, oh, what if? But I hope all that makes sense. Realistically, like, this person feels regret for anything for things they wish they wouldn't have done, regret for how things turned out. Although I will say, for some of you, I don't think this person is very self-aware of how they played a role in that. For others, I feel like they just, well, for all of you, they kind of wonder, what if, like, you know, maybe what if there is something in the future. I do feel like this person holds out hope, except in circumstances where this person knows that they, like, will not be able to see you, or, like, know that, you know, you're moved on, or that, you know, it's just maybe better not to dredge up the past. But I definitely think that this person, whoever they are, they see the incredible person that they lost, and they really hate themselves for it, or they see a really wonderful human being that they, you know, wish maybe there was more. They hope maybe in the future one day there could be more. They recognize like there's a connection here. And the interesting thing is, for some of you, there genuinely is a connection, or there was a connection until their behavior eroded that, or there was a connection but you guys just weren't able to meet in person. So it's like, oh, okay, you know, like, just because you don't meet someone in person doesn't mean that a connection like isn't there, you know. And same thing goes for, like, for those of you that don't know this person, or for those of you that maybe just don't have feelings for this person, I do think this person is likely more guilty of just projecting their ideals onto you, and projecting their fantasies onto you, and believing that you fit that perfectly. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go a bit deeper with channel messages. Maybe we'll get some deeper insights here. But I hope that all made sense. I know that was a lot of information with a lot of differing perspectives here, but we are using our Queen fellow tarot icon, the Hermit Tarot's channel messages. So if you've never checked her channel out, or if you haven't seen her in a while, maybe go see what's going on over in Hermit Tarot Town. It's a great place to go, great place to be. Okay, so the person that came through for group 1, yeah, that bat already kind of talks about death energy, and I sometimes wonder if you care. And for some of you, you're like, I guess you're gonna keep wondering, because I don't. And for others, it's like, yeah, I do care, but at the same time, it's like, why would I open up to that? And for others, you might be like, yeah, I do care, but like, I have no way to contact them. I don't even like, or like, yeah, I do care, but I've moved on with my life. Like, I do feel like, though, the level of caring involved on their end is significantly higher than yours. Like, the only, I would say, strong caring that would still exist otherwise is just related to wounds that this person really brought about in you. And it's honestly like less about them and more about just their ability to like trigger that wound. So know that like as that wound heals, you'll care even less. Okay, what else though? Please, Spirit. We have yes. So if there was a question, the answer is yes. Oh, and actually what I was thinking as this came out, for some of you, this could be someone where like maybe you're single, but they're moved on with someone else and they're doing their own thing. And they're like, that's also a circumstance I apologize for not mentioning sooner. But if there were any questions that you were thinking of as I was shuffling, or any questions like, oh, is this the person that was lurking on my page? Or is this the person, like, is this person that I've been thinking of a lot? Is it because they're, like, in my energy or, like, creeping on me? Yeah, yes. Okay, what else? I still don't have all the answers. Yeah, I definitely feel like this person is going to continue this pattern where they do kind of look into what's going on in your life, what's up. And for some of you, that's, well, actually for all of you, I do feel like, you know, your presence, even you just not even being involved with them, it is a catalyzing force for them. And even if they don't understand why, they'll be kind of like drawn to think about you or look you up or things like that. When really, like, they're probably trying to, like deep down, they're trying to understand something about themselves that they feel like the answer is through you. Or they go and check in to see, like, oh, is group 1 still married? Is group 1 still with that person? Is group 1, like what's going on with them? Because I do feel like, you know, they, in a lot of ways, are like, I don't know what the future holds necessarily for me, but I do want to keep that door open. And for some of you, maybe you do also want to keep that door open. Maybe you are curious. Like, maybe you wonder if this person still is interested in you. For some of you, if you never met this person in person, and they are like married and with a family and stuff especially, I definitely think that they could wish you were their partner. Think about like, how different would my life be if group 1 was in this situation and not this other person. And I think a part of them regrets not exploring that, but another part of them is also like, well, you know, what can I do? They go back and forth between, and this is the case for every single one of you. Every single one of you, this is the scenario. They oscillate between, I need to move on, I need to let go, what, blah, 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 and yeah, but let me just see what's going on with them. And yeah, but like, maybe something might happen in the future. And maybe not this time, maybe next lifetime, sort of thing. Anything else? You already know. So if there is any like message or hit that you've been getting about this person, or just like this intuitive feeling, or if you guys had some sort of like row or like a really intense like screaming match or something like that, and you said something to them, like something that like hit them at their core, just know that they know, and what you said happened and came true and is something that actually could have been the catalyst for them to like actually start reassessing, like, maybe group one was right about a lot of other things, and like really open up to more. But yeah, they feel like if there's any other messages that you've been waiting to hear that I have not delivered to you, it's because you already know them and they're hyper specific to you. And I've been going through a lot of energies anyway. So on the back of the deck, think before you act. So yeah, I feel like that's why you may never hear from this person, because this person may always talk themselves out of it before they do that. Or this person, like, they one thing they are good at, and this is because they do have a pretty big ego, they don't really act impulsively, at the very least in environments where they might be perceived. Like, this person is okay acting impulsively around strangers or people they don't care about, but they're not okay acting impulsively. Well, I guess that isn't for all of you, because for some of you, this person is shy no matter what. But for others of you, this person like is more braggadocious. It's not even a word. I don't think so. I don't know. But they're just like, they're just a little out there. Like they're a bit of a proud person. And so they don't act impulsively towards people who they like care about their opinion of. But if it's somebody that they're like, for example, this person would not care how they're behaving around like a one-night stand or a bunch of people they'll never see again. Like, this person could totally like be a diva at the airport, you know, when they're there alone. But they wouldn't be if they were around like family members that they don't want to look unhinged in front of. You know what I mean? And I kind of hope for some of you that this is like a really masculine dude, because I like I just had this vision of like a really masculine dude like being a diva at the airport, and I just kind of loved it. Like, it just, I don't love that idea in terms of like the people that have to deal with it, but just the image in my head was funny. It wasn't that serious, but I don't know, it was just like a funny image. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and finish this reading off with a guidance card for thou. Okay, so actually I'm going to pull three. I'm going to pull a guidance card for those of you. I'm going to pull three guidance cards, and you take the guidance that works for you, you discard the rest. Trust your truth radar here. I feel like a lot of you here must be intuitives yourself, or just have some sort of intuitive, like strong intuitive abilities, and maybe if you don't even realize it, because just the amount of interpretations that came through in this reading, I do feel like you guys have a level of discernment where I can do a lot in one reading, and you guys know what's for you. So appreciate that. Props to you. Okay, Spirit, what guidance does group number one need to hear? We have the Isle of Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness, transformation. So the first guidance card is definitely about focusing on your healing and wholeness. It will either transform how you see this situation or transform any lingering wounds around this situation. And honestly, if you've already done that and you're like, whatever, then there's really nothing you need to do. But we also have thank you, gratitude, appreciate what's sustaining you. First of all, I feel like you should just have gratitude, especially if you have like a difficult history with this person. I feel like you should just have gratitude towards yourself for how you carried that situation, especially if there were children involved. Like, I feel like you should show gratitude for yourself and how you did what you needed to do even when it hurt, and how also there may be some people in your life that really helped you get through that. I think that it would just be really sweet and just feel good for the both of you if you just like said, hey, you know, you were really with me, like there for me during those times. And I'm just feeling grateful you're in my life. Like, I feel like that could just be really special and sweet to them. And I do feel like this person's higher self is saying thank you for a lot of reasons. Like, thank you for not putting your life on hold for me. For some of you, that is meant to, that sentence doesn't end there and there's a ... anymore. But there's also thank you for like what you taught me. Like, thank you for the lessons. I'm hearing Ariana Grande now, like, thank you next. And I think that's your energy, like, too. Like, thank you next for some of you. And for others, like, especially those of you where this connection remained pretty pure and like it just never progressed, you never met, or like things never went deeper, feelings were never confessed. I feel like this person is really grateful for things that you said to them. Like, it's like you really made them feel seen, and you could have said some things that were really thought-provoking. Okay, anything else? And I guess if you find yourself being frustrated that you quote-unquote wasted time with this person or something like that, I feel like maybe seeing the gratitude that you didn't spend any further time with them and recognize the time wasn't wasted. I think this person taught you a lot about what needed to change and where you were ready to step into more wholeness and be a better advocate for yourself and what you deserve. But finally, we have the water carrier. What really matters, reflect, reprioritize. So I do think there is this guidance here of when you get overwhelmed by this person or frustrated, let's actually read that one. I want to read that one. This is the Healing Waters Oracle. And I don't know if water carrier, there we go. In most parts of the modern world, humans have become disconnected from each other and the planet. We've forgotten the simple things where the water that sustains us even comes from. We speak about creating harmony and peace on Earth, but really our focus should be on creating harmony and peace with Earth. Is it possible that our disconnection from seeing Earth's resources as sacred that's made us so disconnected? When we look into the future, we can see that without water, there can be no life on Earth. Without water, there can be no life in you. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Hydrate or dihydrate. Without water, humanity could not survive. This card is about getting your priorities right and focusing on what really truly matters. In our busy world, it's so easy to get swept up in things that seem important and urgent when really at the end of the day, we realize that worrying about them has been a waste of time, resources, and energy. It's time to take the moment to pause, reflect, and reprioritize. Carry on what really matters, to chop wood and carry water, to care for those in our community, and to understand what's really truly important and to act accordingly. So yeah, I'll let you take that guidance as it resonates, but group one, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to show support and appreciation for my channel, so thank you to everyone who does that. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Would really appreciate that, and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, my social media. You can check out my, join my email list. That is where all important information comes from and goes to. Any information around readings, classes, random little tidbits. I do like to drop in and be like, hey, love you, hope you're having a great day. Or, hey, here's this message, or hey, here's this free spread. I like doing stuff like that, so feel free to join me for that. Other ways, you can check out other videos. You can watch ones with extendeds. You can leave me a tip or a tip, and you can leave a tip in the comments or through my Cashapp, which is palehag, and my PayPal, which is my email. Candles, social media, all that jazz. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I really hope these messages resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the hot sauce packet that says too good to not be true. This is going to be your reading on how the person you are thinking of or asking about feels when they see you in person or when they see you online. I gave some distinctions on which one to choose there in the intro if you want to check it out. But while I'm shuffling, if you just want to go ahead and set the intention that the person you're wanting to hear about is the one that comes through. If you just want to focus on their energy and on the cards, it's super helpful. And if you end up enjoying this, thank you to everyone who leaves me a like. That's super, super helpful. Also, lets me know what you guys want to see more of. That being said, let's get into it. So, the person on group number 2 is mine. The person group number 2 is asking about, how does this person feel when they are in group number 2's presence in person, or when they see group number 2 online from a distance? Okay. You make them nervous. Okay, so lots going on. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Scientist, which is a unique card for this deck, actually. Noting that it touched the, you have the 8 of Wands. All right, one more. How does this person feel? We have the 10 of Swords. I think I'm gonna pull one more. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles is interesting. There's a space out there. Sorry. Okay, let's go a bit deeper with this. So, for your oracles, we have the 2nd chakra, Archangel Ariel. We have fear of failure. We have the Hermit. We have romance. And we have the Octopus reversed. Very interesting. Okay, all right, yes, everything is in the frame. So, group number 2, how does this person feel? I actually want to read the Scientist card because it's a unique card to this deck. It's not in every deck, so let's see what it means together. Methodical planning evaluation. The Scientist shows a kitten Nugget. In the field of science, this Nugget has thought through every process. Although experimenting, the scientist uses the scientific method. They follow rules, taking notes, and weighing outcomes carefully. When this card shows up in a reading, it could be a sign to take a step back and think logically about a situation. Weigh the pros and cons, and consider a situation objectively. As a person, it could represent someone who is level-headed, or that you call on when you have an idea you need to externally process. So, that's really interesting. It's kind of the vibe of what I was getting here, but definitely adds some context. Like, you've got this person in their feels, but they don't know how to deal with feelings. Like, it's kind of cute and sweet, but like their mind races and their heart, like I feel like their heartbeat gets faster when it's around you. I feel like there's a lot, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of spicy feelings, but I think actually for this, we're gonna call them a scientist person. They may not be a scientist, but they are certainly someone who values logic, the scientific method, and the rules and structures to life that give you some sense of certainty when you go out into the world. And no wonder they struggle when they're around you, because they don't have a sense of certainty with you. What they feel when they're around you is the awareness of all their shortcomings and the vulnerabilities that they use their perception, the vulnerabilities that they hide and are able to avoid through this way that they live their life, through these rules, these structures, these very calculated ideas of, when person does this, I do that. If X, then Y. They really struggle with unknowns and situations where they don't have things quite figured out. And the irony is that this person too could actually be somebody who they're like, I just heard birds of a feather. Like this person is somebody that has their circle is made of people, and I guess this will be confirmation if this is the person you're asking about. Their circle is kind of made up with people who they might be different in terms of like particular interests or things like that. There's definitely interests that they share though, but also in perspective. So I can even see this person like wanting to talk to their peers about you and about this situation, and they either don't because they know already that they don't have any information that will help them, or they don't because they are afraid of what's like the internal process that's happening within them, and they don't want to be judged harshly by their peers for it. I can definitely see that this is somebody who feels insecure when they're around you, but it's not because they're comparing themselves to you. It's because they have romantic feelings for you, and I don't think that this person, they're more likely to have a special interest turn their head than a person. And I think what's really interesting, extra confirmation that this is your reading, if this hits, but I think you guys are very different in how you go about life. I think that this person feels a deep sense of excitement, but also there's some hesitance to be around you, because being around you is like the death of their certainty. And it's deeply uncomfortable for them. And it's forcing them to look at so many different fallacies that they accepted as truth, because they had shut out any opportunities for a diverging perspective, opinion, or experience to persuade them. You are that diverging perspective, experience. And for them, I mean, the only water card we have here is in reverse. And the only other yin energy we have is in this Knight of Pentacles. They feel like I'm getting this vision of a robot that's like danger, danger, error, error, and it's like going crazy and like smoking, because it's like you literally short circuit them. I think partially just because they're very attracted to you and they're very they really care about you, but also there's like this very overwhelming process happening within them internally where they're like, what's going on with me? Why? Like, I was so sure about my life like 2 weeks ago. No, that doesn't have to be like that, but like, and now all of a sudden I'm questioning everything. Like there has been an end to their certainty, and they recognize that that's connected to you, and it's a bit overwhelming for them. Not only that though, they are almost disturbed by how happy you make them and how good it feels to be around you. One thing I do want you to know is that this person does have very, they think about things in very certain terms, and there maybe have been times where you've told them things and they have either like said things without realizing that maybe like hurt your feelings, or said things that were kind of dismissive, and they are getting their I don't want to call it karma, but I guess like that for that it's not like they're receiving their own medicine. Let's put it that way, where they're realizing, oh wow, maybe I was not as certain as I thought I was. They feel very excited when they're around you, and I just gotta be honest, they feel very horny when they're around you. For those of you that were like, I was asking about a family member, I'm like, first of all, why were you asking about a family member on a reading that's clearly about connections outside of that? I mean, it's an interesting choice. Love it for you, but also like up to you to filter out those messages. I feel like the one thing though is that this person is also uncomfortable with their sexuality. So I feel that they use their mental faculties to make up for insecurities they have in other areas of life. And it's almost like they do kind of isolate themselves into these worlds that are known, are predictable, are within their scope of skill and experience. And you are so far outside of that. And I think one thing that they realize when they're around you is how absolutely fucking boring life has been, and how comfortable they got with life being boring. Then at the same time, it's like with you coming in and being a part of their world, Ariel, they're being exposed and opened up to so many different facets of not only their own personality, but worldviews and perspectives that they never considered before because it was so easy to write them off originally. And I think when they're around you, all they want to do is like get away from you. And the thing is it's not because they don't want to be around you. It's because when they're actually in your presence, they're super nervous. And when you leave, they immediately miss you. Oh my God, I have to laugh. This person's energy was clearly affecting me before I even started this reading, because I kept like, it took me like 45 minutes to feel confident enough to sit down and like channel this. Like I was doing my like prayers and intentions and rituals like over and over and over again. And like, I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to, like it didn't feel right. Like it didn't, I don't know what it was, but I was getting super mad. Like I was just like to myself, like, brother, what is going on? Like we gotta go. Like, and I feel that with this person where they're like, every part of them wants to be around you, and then they're around you and then they're like, oh God, like it's a lot all at once. And I feel like they feel, they're very good at, they've forgotten what feelings feel like intense feelings, because they have been so good at cutting out opportunities for that to happen. And that's very comfortable for them, but it's also been boring. Like if you were manifesting some type of person, like some type of like soulmate energy or something like that, I feel like this could have been a mutual manifestation where like they were like really wanting to life to get more interesting, and they would never call it a manifestation, right? They would just be like, oh yeah, I guess, like they would say this person can manifest flippantly, because when they actually do acknowledge any emotional longing, any apathy, any boredom, it creates change, because they have a very, very powerful capability of manifesting through voice. It's part of why they believe what they think so deeply. And this person could be very very verbally acute, but their emotional intelligence is there's room for improvement, let's just say. But I do see them to be someone who is very genuine, someone who they're not ever like intentionally like dismissive or callous or anything like that. They're just maybe not the most like perceptive when it comes to how others perceive them. And so I think that for them it's like, well, I'm just like not gonna be around people, because like if they get offended and whatever, then fine, like, because they're not meaning to. And I think for them it's just easier to be alone, it's just easier to do their own thing. But with you, they're like, oh, what's going on? And honestly, I feel like for some of you, this person might be undergoing like a very late sexual awakening. Like this person could have lived like the first even like 40 years of their life and been like, I'm just not a very sexual person. And then like all of a sudden in comes you, and then they're like, you know what? Maybe you stand corrected. I do think that they always want to put their best foot forward with you. And if they talk about like what they're working on, or like theories they find fascinating, they're going to try to connect with you through their interests, and also through, they're going to try to connect with you through, or I guess not try to connect, but try to show you that like they're worthy of your attention by showing their mental acuity. So like, I feel like for some of you, you've had conversations with this person where it seemed like they were trying to make you feel dumb because of like what they were sharing with you, but they weren't trying to make you feel dumb. They just wanted you to see them as smart, and like they wanted you to like be impressed by them, because they do not feel like they are an impressive person. And there's this sensualness when you're around, and I feel like they've never felt romantic feelings like this before, where someone has truly taken them out of their own world into, I wouldn't call it the real world, but a world beyond what's real to them. And I definitely see them having a hard time making sense of what's happening here. So this is their plan. They're gonna take things slow, because they certainly have zero interest in letting this situation go. But you might find that this person is slow to respond to you, and also like just things move at a slow pace. That's not because they're not interested or they're messing around with you. One thing that this person is guilty of, though, is poor communication when they get engrossed in something. And it's not them ignoring you. It's like, I've been tasting hints of neurodivergence throughout this reading, and this person is really giving like neurodivergent hyperfocus into job or into interest, and they, as a result, forget about things that are like, oh, that's important. Do not measure your importance to this person based on the consistency and speed at which they show up. Now, if they're unable to like communicate with you and like at all, and are unwilling to make adjustments, that's a whole different thing. But I see this person, like when they're around you, they just want to take things slow, and they hold back a lot. There's like a million things they want to say to you. I feel like they've got two modes around you. They're either saying nothing or they're saying everything. And and that kind of highlights just the extreme nerves that they have when they're around you, and the insecurities and vulnerabilities that you bring up in them, that they live comfortably without in their everyday life, because they forget they're there, and they've curated their life to be so like perfect for their specifications. The irony is, though, is that we have this Eight of Wands here, which is really fast. So I feel like this person, maybe for some of you, this person, like they've been in like a romantic, like for some of you, this could be this person's like very first foray into romantic relationships. And especially so if they are like, if it seems like that's unlikely given their age or experience. Like this is an unexperienced person, despite what it may look like. I feel like partners that they've been around haven't been very, either haven't been very good to them, or like they only experienced romance in terms of transactional relationships, where they had to like be something else in order to be received at all. It's like I have to be Prince or Princess Charming. I can't be myself, because if I'm myself, then they're not gonna like me. So one huge thing that's different about you is the fact that they don't know what to do or how to be around you, because you make them want to be themselves, and they've never really been that before outside of their environments that make them feel safe. So it's like, yeah, they've really cut out a lot of the world in order to be themselves, But now that you are almost like the world, in the sense that you are pulling them out of what is comfortable, familiar, and safe. And now they're being exposed to parts of themselves that they may have forgotten existed, or didn't even realize they had. And so they see you as kind of a blessing and a curse, and they don't know how to take it right now, because there's a lot of ego death happening. There's also a lot of, and I feel for some of you, long held beliefs about what is, what life is, what their role in life is, what life is supposed to look like. And I think that the little sauce packet says it great. Too good to not be true. That's how they feel when they're around you. It's like, typically they would recognize that they couldn't handle a baddie and just not express any interest or engage with you. But when they're around you, they are deeply afraid of looking stupid, of turning you off, or you not being interested in them. I don't think that they've ever felt like someone felt the way that they do about you, the way that they've ever felt about anyone else. And part of me wants to be like, but that's not saying much, considering they don't share their emotions very freely. But at the same time, it's saying a lot, because the fact that they're willing to actually follow their emotions and open up to them and recognize there's something valuable here, despite how confronting and overwhelming it is, just goes to show how special you are to them and how much they care about doing right by you. And that will definitely cause them to overthink and hesitate a lot when it comes to how they approach you and how they interact with you. And I think that this is something that they're hoping will be worked out in time, but they really are treating this situation between the two of you like an experiment, where they're being very cautious. They don't want to introduce any unknown variables. They want to study what this is now. They don't want to make conclusions. And I would, dare I say, they're even too afraid to make a hypothesis, because they're worried to have a hypothesis that has hope in it, and they're afraid to make a hypothesis around failure because they don't want to prove themselves right. I do think there is a part of them, a cynical part of them, that feels like, what if this is too good to be true? But at the same time, they're like, but this feels like I would be an idiot if I didn't pursue this. You want to know something else? You are the only person in their entire life that has distracted them from what they care about, in terms of either they have a career related to their special interest, or they enjoy their career and they have special interests outside of it, and they're distracted in both, thinking about you. They see you in their mind all the time, and I think that they think a lot about, when are they going to see you next? Like, and right now they're in this kind of place of like going back and forth, and it's really interesting because this topic is supposed to be how they feel when they see you, but I think that when they see you, they might see you in person, but those feelings continue way long after you guys interacted, because of this deeper process that's happening within them. Like, it's not just about, you're like, they're very attracted to you. They find you to be very gentle, which they appreciate. They also find you to be inquisitive, which they appreciate. Like, they think you look at things differently, and they also appreciate that you seem to have a perspective that, while different from theirs, still seems to be like reasonable. And I think that they really appreciate that. I don't know what reasonable means to them, but that's their word. If you have done anything along the lines of remembering something about them that they said in passing, giving them any gifts related to a special interest, related to like that serve a function that allow them to engage in a special interest or like a special focus of theirs, if you've done anything to like support them in their work or their career or anything like that is the most romantic thing you could ever do. For some of you, like, I just saw like a Lego set in my mind. I was like, yeah, like this is the type of person who's gonna swoon at, they would sooner swoon at a Lego bouquet than a regular one. But I'm seeing here that they would probably prefer something big and complex that they could spend a lot of time. Like this is someone who loves like little details and getting in there and like they're just a very mercurial and cerebral person. And you are somebody who that feels very like foreign to them, in the sense that a lot of who they surround themselves with are people similar to them. So there's a lot of growth, but they find themselves even surprised that that they're so enamored by you, because they've never been so enamored by someone like you before. I think even if they've had romantic relationships in the past, like even though they had to play a certain role, it was still with types of people that were more similar to them. There's something open and emotionally intelligent and intuitive about you that undoes a lot of the walls that they've built, but also forces them to confront a lot of things that they put behind those walls and avoided for years. So there's this mixture of, oh my God, this is amazing, I never want to let this go, and oh my God, this is terrifying. What do I do here? Like, it makes me think of, there's this SpongeBob episode where Mr. Krabs is like enamored with Mrs. Puff, and he's like torturing SpongeBob the whole time because he's like, SpongeBob, you need to go get Mr. Puff like this. And the SpongeBob comes back and he's like, SpongeBob, you're spending all my money. And then SpongeBob's like, I did what you told me to do. Then he's like, SpongeBob, you need to go back and you need to do this. And he's like, SpongeBob, stop spending all my money. Like, it's kind of that. It gives that a little bit, where in your presence, he's like, well, I was saying he because I was still thinking of Mr. Krabs, but it doesn't have to be a he. I use they for that reason. They could be like when they're around you, they're in panic, love struck, oh my God mode. And then when you leave, it's like, what's happening? What's going on? Like, my whole world's falling apart, but at the same time, like, I see this beautiful creature that I want to be my world and I'm scared. That's how they feel when they're around you. That's it. And they're still figuring it out. And so for them, the name of the game is, we're gonna take this one day at a time. We're gonna go slow and be careful and see what this unknown holds. And that, I have to say, is huge. Like, they don't go outside of their comfort zone virtually ever. So this is huge for them. And one thing I will just say as well is that they get so excited to see you, and so excited if your name pops up on their phone. They get so excited if they hear from you. They get excited even when they hear your name out in passing. Like, that is like, you have a physiological effect on this person. So don't underestimate the power of, yeah, as I cut the deck, I can't even look at you right now because I'm so like, I look at you and I melt and then I get nervous, and you know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and see if they'd like to add their own words to this, because they're like, maybe. What's funny is I'm cutting the deck, they're even going in. But let's just see. So this person that's coming through for group number 2, what would they like to add, and what would they like group number 2 to know at this time? Yeah, they've been a little bit like withdrawn recently, have they? Yeah. I love what I do. Okay. Yeah, so I do think that right now you might be really confused, because you're like, I thought like we were hitting it off. Like, I thought they were like interested in me. And it's like, yeah, they are. They're just either occupied with something really important that they have to dedicate their focus to, or they are just taking time to like process and decompress before they interact with you again. Yeah. I mean, the fact that we have the Ace of Pentacles here, like, they see something like, they don't open up in general or in this way unless there's something really special that they see and recognize. Like this Ace of Pentacles, like this person is like, I thought I was gonna live in a cave away from humanity for the rest of my life. But group 2, I think I would be willing to live in a damn suburb with them if that's what they wanted. Like, they are like, I see a whole ass future. And like, also, if you're a very creative person, you've made them realize that they are not creative at all. And I think there's a part of them that's kind of sad about that. Like, they want to learn more about that. And I think also they already feel attached to you. Like, they feel this, like, I see a future here and I'm not going to mess it up. And the irony is, in their fear of messing it up, they might be creating confusion or making you feel like you're being pushed away or not interested. And the reality is they're like, I just want to take this slow and steady and I want to be careful because I don't want to mess it up. Do what you want to do, but I would also say, like, it wouldn't hurt to be like, hey, you know, don't tell them anything, at least outright. But when they are more chatty with you and they're not like engrossed in something, take that opportunity to be like, man, I love it when we get to talk, or just, I'm always so happy when I hear from you. Things like that are going to be really encouraging for them and make them be a little bit more, they're calling it reckless, but I would call it less mentally constipated, where they just start talking to you like a normal person instead of revering you like a god or goddess that they are afraid of losing from their clutches. There is a bit of, they're putting you on a little bit of a pedestal, but that's partially because they've never experienced someone like you in general, but then also someone like you even taking an interest in them. So it's really special for them. You're already really special to them. And the emotional consequences of messing this up or doing something wrong and this big experiment failing, it's like they are trying to make sure there is a 0% margin of error, which is literally impossible. So there's a need for them to let go a little bit. And I think that'll happen over time. What did I say? I love being right. Okay, yeah, you're so beautiful. Why do you need me? It's like, the math isn't mathing for them that someone like you would even take an interest in them. I had a card fall onto the table. Yeah, let me hold you. Like they want to be close to you so badly. But there's definitely a little bit of imbalance there. Yeah, on the back of the deck, time to ground yourself. So I do think that, like, if you guys spend time together and then they kind of retreat afterwards, I don't think that's them, like, being like, group 2. Like, no, that's, like, it's them being like, oh my gosh, like, I need to, like, first of all, I think they sit in all the feeling that they experience. And for someone who is not really in their emotional body very often, it takes them longer to process the amount of emotion that they experience when they're with you. It's literally like, it's almost like when they're around you, it's almost like an emotional binge where they need time for their system to digest everything that they took in, and even though it's all goodness, like, they're not an emotionally balanced person. So it's like all of a sudden they're getting all this emotional nourishment that they've never had before. And so it takes them time to just like, but they definitely don't want to let go of you. And if you guys like have cuddled or anything like that, I think that's one of their favorite things ever, because they get to be close to you without worrying that they're going to say or do the wrong thing. It's like human and simple in a way that life never is for them. Like, they have to create simplicity from a world that demands complexity in a way that doesn't make sense to them. And so they feel really grateful for meeting you, because I think you are while you guys may be very different, I also think this person can be a little bit prejudicial against, like, especially if you are a very, like, creative and open and sensitive person. I think that they've been very prejudicial of people like that in the past, because I think people like that in the past have been prejudicial towards them too. And so there's kind of just this, like, oh, well, I stay away from those types of people. Oh, I don't go around those types of people. And then they're like, wait a second. This one's great though. Maybe I was wrong. Like, that's happening. And I do think that there are some, like, timing things that could be impacting, like, them. But this is definitely someone who is being cautious and careful because they care about honoring the situation, and, like, they care about not messing it up. There's a deep, deep fear of that. But we'll just go ahead and finish off this little reading with a guidance card for you for the situation. So, Spirit, what guidance would you like to give to Group 2 when it comes to this situation, please? What does Group 2 need to know? We have clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. And it's interesting. I almost feel like this is this person's guidance, like into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, facing your fears. So you are kind of like, your energy is operating as a Hades to their Persephone, but instead of it being like pearl clutching, like Greek, like ancient Greek behavior of, ooh, I don't think that's right, mythological lore shit, it's more like, it's metaphorical in the sense that, like, your energy is forcing them to go into the underworld, and they don't, into the underworld of themselves, into the underworld of what they've avoided, into the darkness of what they can't see. And that doesn't mean it's dark or bad, it just means that they can't see in there, so they don't know what's there, right? And it's almost like the conditions that they created to protect themselves are like Persephone's mother. Who's Persephone's mother? I know this. Spring. Like, I want to say it was, like, it's not Artemis, but, like, Demeter, right? I thought it was with a D. Then I kept hearing the word Diwali, which has nothing to do with Greek mythology. It's, I believe, a holiday, a Hindu holiday. That looks very colorful and fun. But maybe Diwali is significant, and I needed to share that for some reason. But let's see what this Clear Waters card says for you, what you need to know. Because you're definitely not taking them from anything. You're not, like, kidnapping them and forcing them to be in the underworld, but you are forcing them to wake up to how they've kept life out and where they've stayed stagnant, and it's time for them to live again. Like, show up. Okay. And I would be willing to bet a lot of what you felt intuitively, I probably echoed for you. And it's probably, I hope it's a huge relief. And also a sign that for some of you, you need to stop taking your friends' advice. And for some of you, your friends might be really jealous that this person is interested in you and might tell you things that are not true, just to make you feel insecure. I don't say things like that lightly, and I don't say things like that flippantly. You know who that message is for. If that message is for you, you'll know. Yeah, stop outsourcing your intuition to other people who don't have, or stop ignoring your intuition or looking for confirmation of your intuition in people who have no context or scope or understanding of what's going on. Your intuition is a lot more powerful. Anyway. And the people that you're asking about, like the people that you're asking for reassurance or their perspective, they're not going at it from a place of intuition. They're going at it from a place of judgment. And this is what I think is happening. And also, if what I said resonates for you, some of them aren't even coming at it from a place of good faith. They're coming at it from a place of, I don't want you to be happy. I don't want you to have, and that, my dude, not cool. Like, you deserve people that celebrate your happiness. And I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but I would highly encourage you not to share with those types of people, because they don't want you to be happy. They want to rain on your parade. Period. Okay. And some people, while well-meaning and want to see you happy, can give you horrible, terrible, and wrong advice because of what they think is true and real, and because they're trying to protect you. So once again, be careful about who you share this stuff with, because they might cause you to not trust yourself anymore. So everything's coming together and supporting you right now. Potency is present, alignment has arrived, potential is here. The waters before you are crystal clear, and what you're stepping into is of the highest potency. You know the way forward. There are clear seas ahead. Keep facing your true north and proceed onward. This is a wonderful card with a very positive message. It suggests that something's come into your life that's a great big yes, or that you've been working on bringing things into alignment and are stepping into that now. A creative project, a new relationship, a new home, a new phase of life, whatever it is you've been manifesting or longing for, it seems that you're clear about what you want and it's coming to fruition. This card comes with positivity, confirmation, and a lot of promising potential. You're supported on your journey and everything's opening up for you. Keep your gaze ahead of you and don't get distracted by what others are doing or saying, or by other things you could be doing. You know what to do and have been working for this for a long time. Enjoy the moment, embrace the clarity and the vision, and receive all that you've created and will continue to create for yourself and the world. Beautiful. So I think that that's a wonderful sign, and you really can trust yourself. Like, there's a reason why, like, you have this intuitive potency. It's so that you can really discern and intuit the intentions behind people's behaviors, rather than playing into the same assumptions and ego games that a lot of people do without even realizing it, and deciding what someone's intentions are, deciding what they think or how they feel about you, instead of really getting to know them and being patient and learning how they communicate. Everybody communicates differently. Everybody sees and thinks things differently. Like, a lot of things just get lost in translation, and a lot of times when something is lost in translation, we can try to translate it through our own insecurities, and you don't need to do that. This person reveres the ground that you walk on, and I would encourage them to maybe work on their own insecurities, maybe same for you, to recognize that you guys are just two people, and like, this doesn't have to be a stressful and necessary experience, but it can be when there's fear of communicating, and there also just can be when it takes time to understand how each other communicates. But like, this seems like a really solid, beautiful, positive situation. If you are feeling insecure in this situation, I would work on building your confidence in yourself, confidence in who you are, and also look into solar plexus chakra healing. I think both of you could benefit from that, actually. So group number 2, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, at least for the first 30 seconds. That is the simplest, easiest, and most impactful way for you to support me, show appreciation for my channel, and let me keep doing my little videos for you. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out, sign up for my email list, because everyone on my email list gets perks, fun little freebies, things like that. But also, if I ever open my personal readings, my email list gets first dibs and privilege, and I probably will only ever open it to my email list if I ever open them. So if you're not on that, you will be out of the loop, and if there is an opportunity, you will not get it if you are not getting your emails from me. Okay, other things, candles, social media, all that jazz. You can leave me a tip. My Cashapp is palehag, and my PayPal is my email. But I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. Oh, you can send me good vibes. I'm sending you some right back. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the bias that says, "Take me home," this is going to be your reading on how the person you are asking about, the person on your mind, how they feel when they're with you in person or when they see you, whether it's online, at a distance, yada, yada, yada. I kind of break down the distinctions in the intro if you want to check that out. But while I'm shuffling, if you just want to go ahead and focus on the person's energy, you're asking about, just focus on them and set the intention that the cards that come through are meant for you. That would be great. Yeah, and if you end up enjoying this and want to leave me a little like, thank you for doing so. I really appreciate it. Okay, that is all the shuffling we were going to do, because look at my fingers. That kind of hurts. Okay, so group number 3 is asking about spirit. How does this person feel when they are with group 3 or see group 3? Okay, so Temperance is coming out, and this card wants to come out. Page of Cups. Let's see it. What else? We have the Star. And what else? We have the 5 of Cups. And on the back of the deck, we have the Fool. Okay. Okay, and then your cards to clarify. We have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. We have body language. We have the Slice. We have the Dragonfly. And we have Memories. Okay. You don't understand the amount of strength it took to not say body language the way Ursula does it in Little Mermaid. But I see I have lost that strength because I did it anyway. That was a personal choice. And I feel strongly about me doing it anyway. So, that being said, this person is definitely in their feels for you. And I don't know whether it's when you're around them or when they see you in their mind or see you in their mind's eye. But for others of you, I could totally see you being in a relationship with this person, and like this is just the current energy of what's occurring right now. So like I definitely see circumstances where this is somebody who you may be in like a rocky place with. Or this is somebody who is like a newer person that you've met, but there's something very promising here. Or someone who things seem promising, but for whatever reason something happened and slowed things down, or there was a conflict or something like that. And let me just talk about how they feel when they're with you, because I guess that'll make more sense anyway. They feel like they need to be patient. And they also feel apologetic. If this person does owe you an apology, they know that and they're planning on doing that. And I would say specifically, they could be waiting to do this in person because they feel like that's the more sincere thing to do. And in fact, they might be frustrated, like if they haven't been able to see you, because like they want to apologize, and so like they might just be disappointed that they feel like you're not focused on them the way that they focus on you. And so for some of you, you might be like, yeah, you're exactly right, because I had reason to. Like, you don't have to justify it to me. You do what you got to do. But I'm channeling how they feel. Doesn't mean that those feelings are rational. We have plenty of irrational feelings. I feel like the name Claire without an E on it looks wrong. Doesn't mean it is wrong, but it feels unsatisfying. Like when the little thing in the DVD thing used to bounce, it's like when it doesn't hit the corner. Claire with an E at the end. That feels like the DVD little square thing going right into the corner. It feels satisfying, it feels right. Claire without an E, it doesn't feel right. It's a very dumb opinion that I have, but it is an opinion that I have, and I apologize to all Claires without an E in your name. You are valid, but I find your name unsatisfying without an E. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you that. This is so funny. I think that this person, this could be confirmation for your reading. This person, when they do talk to you, could talk to you about like very useless things that don't really serve any purpose and that do not acknowledge the intensity and density of the energy between the two of you. And as a result, I feel like you might be very confused when you get around this person, because you're like, I thought they were gonna apologize, or I thought they were gonna like talk about something, and then they just don't. This person has a lot of feelings for you, but I don't think that they have an idea of what the hell they are doing right now. I feel like they're in this position where they feel very sweetly towards you and they want to balance things out, and they also have a lot of hope for the future, and they're disappointed about what has happened in the past, or if this is a newer situation, they're disappointed in their past experiences and are afraid of further disappointment. But if this person behaved in a way towards you that was really unkind or just wasn't right, and you cut them out of your life, or you set boundaries, or you made it clear to them that it wasn't acceptable or okay, I definitely think that this person took note and really cares and is wanting to try. But I hear for some of you, it may have taken you going to extremes, like cutting this person out of your life, like truly moving on with your life and like letting go of this situation, that really made them wake up to the fact that you were serious about what you were talking about. I feel like in general, they just want to be close to you, and they feel like you are almost like a salvation for them. Like, I think that they see you as a, I'm getting a little bit confused because there's like diverging energies here. Like for some of you, this is someone who's on the outside of your life and can only see what you share online, or can only see like what they hear through word of mouth, or maybe they see you in places but they're not able to interact with you. Whereas others, I feel like they see a lot of potential here, where this is like a newer situation, and they see that you could be the person to change the game when it comes to love for them. And because those are such diverging energies, I'm going to try to do a better job at parsing them, but bear with me as I do that. I guess you've got no choice. Well, I guess you do. You could just click off and be like, fuck you, ASO. I'll try to be like, I get it. I mean, do what you want. Anyway, I do feel like this person gets distracted a lot, and they, I could see why you might be frustrated with this person. Maybe you guys have been trying to meet up, and every time that's supposed to happen, something falls through. Or it's like you guys do finally have time to sit down and discuss like important things, and then the conversation doesn't go more deeply. I feel like if this is a newer situation, I do feel like this person feels a lot of hope and potential. I think they're already really focused on you. They find you to be very spiritually advanced and aware, and I think that you make them think differently. I also think that they have a lot of deep, intense emotion for you. I mean, we have a lot of emotions cards here, and I do think that they feel like when they're around you, everything that they want to say, everything that's in their heart, it's like they could be so clear about it, and then they get in front of you and they forget it. For those of you that this is someone newer, I do feel like this person, and I do want you to just be aware of this, I do feel like this person is putting this like hope on you, as if like you are some sort of salvation to them, and like will fix their legacy of having failed relationships. But like the thing is I don't know if like that's because of them, or if that's because like they have pushed opportunities for love away out of fear of the past repeating itself. Maybe for some of you, this is what happened. Maybe this person did push you away, and they're like, wow, that was a really stupid decision for me to make. But then when they're around you, it's like they can't really be vulnerable, because not only have they put so much intensity and like so much emotional investment and weight around being around you and around like wanting the situation to be right, that they're afraid of doing anything wrong or afraid of messing it up. Actually, it's less about being afraid of doing things wrong and messing things up and more about afraid of being rejected, and also like realizing that their hopes are dashed. They have a lot of hope in this situation. For some of you, if this is someone from your past that's kind of been showing up and like things have been more surface level, the attraction is there and they feel it just as much as you do, is like what I'm seeing. And I do think as well, they feel like they're in a much different place than they were the last time you guys were involved with one another. And I feel like they want to be really patient, and they also want to be more emotionally open with you. I feel like that was one thing that they weren't in the past. And I also think for some of you, this person could have gained some sort of spiritual awareness, or things that you said to them about spirituality could have encouraged and like it may have not made sense to them in the moment, but it's like making sense now, and they really want to get more information from you and be like and understand like this more deeply. I do feel like for all of you, this person feels like a soul deep level attachment to you, but I don't know if it's reciprocated, just because like for some of you it is reciprocated and for some of you it isn't. And maybe at one point it was reciprocated, but at this point down to your spirit, you're checked out. So what the intensity of what's coming through is heavily dependent on the circumstances here. I do feel for all of you though, this person does have hope that things can get better. And for those of you where this person does need to apologize or do something like that, I feel like they're waiting for the right time to kind of open up and do that. But one thing I will say is that if there was a situation where you thought they were going to do that and then they didn't, it's probably because they were that was their intention. And then when the moment came, they like clammed up and got really nervous, and it's almost like somebody else was taking the reins of their brain, because it was like all of a sudden they didn't have words anymore and they couldn't speak, and they were like, shit, what am I supposed to say here? They see you all the time in their head. Like they see you and them together. They see you and them like in these fantasies I don't really have access to, partially because they may not be relevant, or partially because like these fantasies may not become a reality unless this person is willing to actually, it's like this person feels so much when they're around you, and then they feel sad that they're not able to express that, and instead it's like they get blocked and they don't understand like how. Like it's like they know how they feel, they know what they want to do, like they know what they want to say, and then they get around you and then they're like, how's the weather? And you're like, we live in the same place, like what are you talking about? I do feel like they're disappointed, and there is self-reflection happening. I do feel though there is insecurity about sharing that self-reflection and sharing about the parts of them they're not proud of, because they do want to put a good foot forward. And I do think, yeah, for some of you they either miss you, or for others they're afraid of opening up to you or opening up to the situation because of painful past experiences. But for every single one of you, when they see you or when they're around you, they feel like they're ready for a new beginning with you, or either a new beginning with you together, if you've already been on a rodeo with them, or they want to have a new beginning with you in love and romance, or like, I guess, friendship or something like that, and want to do things right with the newfound wisdom and awareness that they do have. Because I see here, especially with the Star and Temperance, like I feel like they have your presence, and also the energies that this situation inspires in them, they all make this person want to do better. But I also feel like in terms of this person's I don't know where their emotional intelligence level is at, but I do feel like their ability to express their emotions clearly to other people is less developed, especially when they are nervous around someone. There is a little bit of a stuntedness around, like, around actually truly saying how they feel and sharing that. Like, I don't know if they like end up around like a lot of intuitive people. Well, maybe if they're around you, if you're an intuitive person, like, they might get away with not having to say certain things because they're kind of felt and understood. And like that is a cool thing. But where that becomes a problem is when they then take that experience for granted and don't know how to truly share. So if you're doing a lot of intuitive legwork in this situation, I would highly encourage you not to, and let this person, ask this person clarifying questions, even if you want to. They really feel though like you are amazing. They think you're an incredible person, and they feel like a better person for knowing you. Or if this is a newer situation, you make them want to be a better person. And I also think, actually, for those of you where this is a newer situation, they feel disappointed that they feel disappointed and sad that they hadn't met you sooner, because they feel like they would be in a better position, and they feel like they would be a better person if they had met you sooner. And for others of you, if this was a person that you were like involved with in the past, but you never like were in a committed relationship or anything, and they like pushed you away or were unavailable or things like that, I feel like they also regret that, because it seems like they have awareness now that they didn't before, that you were a blessing that they blocked in their life because they were afraid of how this situation was asking them to grow. And I do think they find themselves very disappointed that they pushed you away in the past, because it's like, whatever has occurred between the two of you now, it's like they recognize that they missed out on a lot of opportunity for growth. And if time passed, I think they recognize like the disparities in where you guys are at, like consciousness wise, intellectually, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I feel like they're disappointed because their growth in those areas is nowhere near what your growth has been. So they're really wanting to make the wrongs right. If there was any wrongs that happened between the two of you, I feel like they really hope that those can be resolved and healed. And I also think that they are learning and growing, and they do see like the errors in their behavior, and they do like, I feel like this person does want to take accountability, but they might need the language to learn how. I don't know if this person has the language to take accountability, like, period. I don't know. Like, I don't think they were raised in an environment where that was a thing. And I don't think that they've had experiences where people did that for them, or took accountability when they were hurt. And so I think that they are still, like, they may have just discovered the word accountability a little while ago, and they're like, oh, or maybe you were the one to speak it to them, and now they're finally starting to understand what that actually means. I definitely think that they overthink everything and overread situations, like overanalyze situations, which is kind of what feels like what I'm doing right now, even though I know I'm not. I feel like in general, your presence signals hope. And I also feel like this person is in a place where they're like, even if I'm not allowed to be in group 3's life, I really am grateful for their influence and their presence, and I have a lot of hope for like what they'll accomplish in the future, for who they'll become. Like, I feel like they want the best for you, and I will say, like, that may be like the very thing that forced them to wake up, because they realized how they weren't being the best for you, or how their current state wasn't what was best for you. And I feel like they're wanting to grow and heal and change that. And I also think they want to be more emotionally expressive with you. They feel like they want to share more. And I think they're learning how to get the courage to do that. But when they're with you, I think they feel sad for lost time where they could have done something differently, or where they could have already been healing or connecting with you instead of with people that maybe only reinforce toxic cycles, or maybe they just wish they could turn back time in some sort of way. But I feel like they recognize that there's learning in everything, and I think they're very accepting of whatever you choose, whatever, like wherever you're at. I feel like they're like, yeah, I would accept and understand that. Even if this is a newer situation, I feel like this person feels like you're out of their league, and feels like feels nervous about kind of opening up and letting you in a little bit, because they're afraid of you. It's kind of like you know, a house like that like a house that has really nice curb appeal, but then you go inside and it's like, oh, like the cabinets weren't done very well, and there's definitely like we gotta fix all the fixtures, and I think there may be some structural issues here, and oh my god, is that mold? Like, you know, it looks nice on the outside, but the inside needs work. I think that this person is recognizing that they need work. I don't know. I don't think it's as extreme as like we need to like there's mold in here, but I do think that they are very they compare you to them, where they're like, oh, group 3 is purer than me, group 3 is smarter than me, group 3 is more mature than me, group 3 has it all together. And I feel like they're like, I don't want to let you in, and then you come in and be like, oh, okay, actually I'm gonna check out. Because I think that's what they're afraid of, and they're like, well, if I can just be patient and try to work with this situation and try to heal and grow and be my best self, I'm just going to trust that this is all going to work out. And I think for some of you, this person, like maybe they're not in your life at all, but they just see you on like, they just check in on you. I do think they have hope that things will get better and change. If I'm being clear, like I don't feel a lot of like energy and motivation around it. Like I just feel this sense of heaviness and hope emotionally when it comes to you. That's how they feel. And whether that heaviness has to do with their past before they met you, or heaviness to do with a past that involved the both of you that they need to make amends for, and are in the process of trying to grow and integrate that so that they can, if you let them. I think that's kind of where they're at. There's definitely, they see memories of you, or they see memories of you differently, where like they could have remembered a circumstance one way, and then and now that they've been starting to be on this process of healing and having hope and faith, like they're looking at situations differently. And so if this is related to the two of you, I feel like they're recognizing where their behavior was problematic, or where they were, you know, being hurtful towards you. I feel like they see it now and they get it. And they feel really terrible that they didn't recognize that in the moment, and that they didn't know. But if this is somebody who's newer and isn't, like, you don't have a past with them, I do think that they feel a lot of density and heaviness around just what they've been through in life, and like sadness in the sense of I don't think that they've always been like proud of who they are, or proud of the people they surrounded themselves with, because I feel like their low self-esteem manifested in ways where they accepted the bare minimum and actually felt more comfortable around people who didn't give them much, and who kind of pushed them away and were mean to them, because that's how they were to themselves. So like that made more sense to them. And I think whether they've known you for a long time or not very long, you were always very good and kind to them, and you always were yourself. And a lot of things that they may have misinterpreted from an immature place of like, oh, they don't really mean that, or oh, they're just playing games. It's like this person was playing games with themselves, and they didn't realize that you weren't playing a game. And I think realizing that you weren't ever playing a game has opened up their whole world, where they're like, holy shit, life doesn't have to be a game. Like, it doesn't have to. They're growing a lot right now, and recognizing where they had believed illusions that had held them back. And a lot of them are related to you, and a lot of them are related to their hope for the future with you, if you will let them. But if not, I feel like they're hopeful for the future you will have. They feel like if they can't be a part of your world, like, they accept that, but they also know that you deserve the best, and they're grateful for the memories you guys made. Like, they will always find, like, because some of you are like, I don't really want this person, like, around me, they are in a position of like, well, I accept that, and I still want the best for you, and I still have hope that maybe at the very least we can be okay one day. I feel like no matter what, if you are not on good terms with this person, or there are things that need to be resolved, like, this person does not want those things to be left unresolved. They do want to, at least at the very least, they want things to be good between the two of you. They would really love it if you guys could have a fresh start, or they're really hoping that you will be their fresh start if this is not someone you have history with. But I definitely feel like they're being patient and trying to apply the wisdom of what they've learned from the past. But they're certainly very infatuated. Like, on the spectrum of feelings here, there's deep infatuation to deep, genuine love. It's somewhere on there depending on your circumstances and where you guys are at. But I do think that when they get around you, it's harder for them to be in their emotional body. They're better at being in their emotional body when they're alone. I would really, like, if this person was watching this, I would tell them, write down what you want to say. And then, like, it's not corny. It's actually, I think, a lost art. And something that I think could actually be more impactful. And yeah, I would say they see you as like a shining light in their life who's really helped them grow and heal. Or a shining light in their life that could really be a wonderful presence in this life where they're trying to start fresh and write a narrative that not only they like feel hopeful about, but they feel like is like actually in alignment with what they always wanted for themselves, but what they believed they didn't deserve. It's like, now that I know differently, I want to do differently, and either I want to do differently with you, or I want to do differently with you for the first time, or I want to do differently with you this time. There's a lot of hope of what the future could hold if you're on board the way that they are, and I feel like the biggest thing here is accountability. The more open they are to that, the more I think you will see how ready they are for the next steps of like emotional growth, of healing, of things like that. I definitely think that they are trying to find balance within themselves and muster up courage as well to share more of this. I feel like they're still processing it though, but let's see for real what they do want to say to you and get some channel messages here. Yeah, they could definitely be missing some physical. They're thinking about biblical relations with you. I can say that much. But I would say that they're maybe not thinking about that too much. Because especially if this is someone from your past, because they're like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but like, damn. This does not apply to this situation, but it made me think of that episode of The Office when Jan shows up to Michael's office with breast implants, and Michael completely just like folds and completely takes her back because the bazongas were bazoinking, and maybe your bazongas bazoink, and if you've got bazongas, you may not have bazongas. Maybe your butt bazongas bazoink. You're like, girl, what are you talking about? They might like your butt, and if you have tits, they might like your tits, and they might like to look at them. They might feel distracted by those things when they're around you. Like, group 3's person, I might have to call the horny police. This is getting a little bit much. But let's see what they would say. Group 3's person, what do you want group 3 to know? I need time for me. So yeah, I guess that's what they're doing. Like when they're around you, I think it's evident that if there's any hope for the type of relationship they want, they do need to heal. And I do think that they are working on that. But I also think that this could also just be talking about like, I need time to integrate these energies so that I know what to do with them. What else? Yeah. I just want you all the time. Like they think about you. Like, and it's funny because I wanted this specifically, like this reading to be about like when you're in their presence or when they're like lurking, like seeing your pictures. But I think that like they're always seeing you in terms of like in your mind, in their mind's eye and stuff like that. So, these messages kind of go beyond that because they see you pretty much all the time, whether it's physically or not. Yeah, and also you have so many choices and options. I feel like this person wants to, like, even if this is a newer situation, I feel like this person wants to take things slow at first and not reveal too much because they want to, it's almost like they feel like they're trying to make up for lost time and improve themselves like rapidly, so that you have a greater incentive to be open to what they have to say and to also have evidence of the fact that they are growing and changing. They are not the person that they once were, or to show you that they can be on your level too and they're not like, I think it is like a personal insecurity that they're like out of your league or that they're not advanced or evolved enough to be with you. So it's like I feel like they're trying to do as much as they can to get there so that you are more open to them. You might be like, girl, I've always been open to them. Well, girl, they might be delusional, and I don't care if you're not a girl. I'm still calling you girl. Like, you might be delusional about what's going on too. I don't know. All I do know is that they're disappointed in how their past turned out. And your presence is one of the things that not only inspires them and makes them hopeful for the future, but is a powerful reason as to why they want to be a better person and why they feel more hope for the future. Because honestly, like in their mind, like even if you're like, I want nothing to do with this person, they're like, I'm lucky and grateful that I had group 3 in my life. Group 3's presence was very impactful to me. And so, I'm not going to take that for granted in the future, and I'm not going to repeat that lesson. Like how they really feel when they're with you is sadness for their past mistakes because they didn't realize how good things could be with another person. And they didn't realize how allergic they were to allowing things to just be good because they were afraid of what would happen if they surrendered to that. They were afraid of the vulnerability. They were afraid of being judged. They were afraid of losing that joy. It's like misery was easier than joy and love because at least you already feel like crap. You know, it sucks a lot worse to be in a great place and then lose it, which I disagree with. But I think this person is also starting to change their tune and realize that I think I disagree with that too. And yeah, it's like they're starting with the person in the mirror and starting to realize that their perceptions of the safest way to go about, it's like they're realizing they were doing what felt safe instead of living life to the fullest. And I think you make them feel like living life to the fullest would actually be worth it. And I think it's also partially because you make their life full. Another appendage joke that came out in my brain there that I'm not going to share because I'm starting, I don't want Daddy YouTube to come down on me. But we also have Do You Think About Me Too? And I think that if this person is at a distance, they're like kind of waiting to see what happens. But I feel like for some of you, this person wonders if you even think about them. It's interesting too, because in the beginning I could have totally seen this being someone that like you're in a relationship with, and there's just like this person is thinking about like just what they need to learn and grow and do, and they're feeling a lot of hope, and like things are getting more balanced, and like they're gaining more awareness, and they're like realizing like that certain memories are they see them differently now from like a healed perspective. And I guess I said that because I guess if you were in that group, you probably felt neglected for the rest of the time, because I was going into other details, but that's how that applies. And I do think for all of you, there is like a spiritual nature to this connection, and I think that they feel you open them up spiritually in a way that nobody else ever has. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this reading off with some final guidance for you, and just see what Spirit has to tell you. And the interesting thing is too, is like I feel like there is a bit of a separation between their mind and their heart, where like they don't know how to translate their feelings into thoughts yet. I think that's something they're working at. What guidance do you have for group 3 when it comes to this situation, please, Spirit? Group 3 and this person, what would you like group 3 to know? We have the Sirens. Use your voice, expansion, freedom. Okay. In Greek mythology, the sirens were half woman, half bird sea creatures that would entice fishermen and sailors with their sweet and sensual songs. Free and empowered, they were not afraid to share their voice and use their natural gifts to attract what they wanted. This card is an invitation to own your gifts, to share your voice, and to surrender into the most expanded version of who you are. To give yourself music that plays within, to share your song without wavering, to be free and to dance unrestrained. In life, there is the opportunity to become more and more alive and free with each passing day. However, most of us feel more and more trapped by the life that we've so consciously created. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like this person a little bit too. What do you need to do to embrace life fully? Wow. How can you step into your most expansive self? Often while we're growing up, we experience hurt, losses, and endings that we fail to address. Those memories stagnate within us, and it becomes harder to dance and sing. However, every moment of your life is an opportunity to change, thrive, and grow. Every moment is an opportunity to express yourself, to find your natural, unique way to dance and sing. So I really feel like if you want to see something from this situation, let go and see what happens when you initiate it. Maybe you putting words to these emotions will give this person the words and vocabulary necessary to reciprocate that, instead of shutting down or saying something that doesn't make sense to the situation. You are free here and you're not trapped. You don't have to choose this situation, but I do think both of you are actually really being encouraged to look at where you are letting your losses, hurts, and disappointments stop you from opening up to the fullness of the life you still have to live, and you deserve to live that with expansion and freedom. And know that you don't even need to directly act towards this person. Even declarations like, this person is taking accountability and learning the language necessary to share their feelings with me, and believing that, watch things change powerfully. This person is ready to share their feelings with me. This person is ready to be emotionally vulnerable with me. Be patient, watch what happens. So group number 3, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is the simplest and easiest way to show support and appreciation for my channel. But if you'd like to do it in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, social media. You can check out my other videos, ones with extendeds. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that is super helpful. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you like this video and want to see more of it, definitely be sure to do that, because that lets me know what you want to see more of. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So, you can leave me a tip, PayPal, my email, Cashapp, palehag. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope this reading resonated and maybe brought you a little bit of clarity. I know that I'm unclear, so I apologize if you're unclear, but I did my best. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Diablo sauce, oh, the anticipation, and the Sasuraibito Tarot, this is going to be your reading on how the person you are asking about, the person on your mind, how they feel when they are with you or how they feel when they see you. Whether that be at a distance, on social media, blah, 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 blah. Full breakdown of the reading in the intro where I go into that more if you are confused. But while I'm shuffling, if you just want to take a second and just set the intention that the person you are asking about comes through. So happy that nipple popped out. Really hope it didn't show on the camera so I don't have to censor it, but this is a deck of titties and I remembered that when I picked it, so. And if you end up enjoying this reading and want to leave me a little like, thank you for doing that because it is super helpful. So, for group number 4, Spirit, the person that they are asking about, how does this person feel when they are with group number 4 or when they see group number 4? Okay, we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, we have a card I need to censor with the 5 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords. No, they're not thick enough. I hope that's not showing. Sorry guys, I've gotta censor this though. So this 5 of Pentacles and 6 of Swords came out together. What is this? I guess this is the deck saying it won't be a big deal. If that 4 of Swords is meant to come out, again, it will. But I do think there is, just to start, I do think there is something like really healing about your energy. Okay, what else? How does this person feel? They're around group 4. Okay, but what's the tea on male nipples? Are those allowed? Because that's hypocritical. And it doesn't look like he's wearing pants. So, and I was like, I probably shouldn't use this deck because there's so many naked people in it. And I don't want to get in trouble by my corporate overlords who have definitely done much worse things in their lives. Curious how many of them knew Epstein. But here I am, censoring the human body. All right, what else? What else, Spirit? Another naked person. I'm like, I almost want to scream. Okay, all right. Which, like, it's not the deck's fault. The art's beautiful. It's the fault of our crappy systems and rules that are hypocritical and, quite honestly, ridiculous. Huh. It's a result of, you know. It's not, the creator of this deck, they did a great job. They popped off. The problem is that are things outside of our hands. Okay, let's clarify these. Now, okay. And I apologize if the crystals are distracting, but I promise you the other methods of censoring are far more distracting. So we have a man holding a coin. We have a fish. We have hope. We have the Empress. And we have lessons learned and know your worth. Okay. Apologies for the messiness of the spread, but looks okay. A little bit crooked, but come on now, who isn't? We know our corporate overlords are. They're hella crooked. Anyway, so How does this person feel when you're with them? They feel like they're waking up from an illusion of worthlessness that has been reinforced their entire life, especially when it comes to who they are and their sense of self. They feel like they're in the presence of divinity when they're with you, but I don't interpret the world card like this often, but they feel this deep sense of fulfillment and completion, and like, I don't want to leave this world, but if I left this world in this moment, I would accept that 100% because I left this world with the person that has given me a reason to want to stay in it, which is heavy and intense. But I think that this person has really gotten by in life on service, but service related to those who needed them. And they needed to be needed because that need to be needed came from a place of feeling worthless, from feeling not good enough. And I do think that when it comes to relationships and things like that, they and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I'm talking about relationships in general. They do have a role in relationships where the agreement is that they maintain connection by showing up and meeting other people's needs. Because if they weren't, then why would this person be needed? Why would they want this person around? And with you have wanted nothing but to just be in this person's presence and energy, to just spend time with them for who they are. You care about them as a person, not about what they can bring to you. And for the first time, I think, in this person's life ever, they've had this realization that love doesn't have to come at the cost of personal sacrifice. And in fact, love makes you feel worth more than trying to assert your worth or prove it ever could. This person loves you. Like, they're deeply in love with you. I wouldn't be shocked if for a lot of you and this person are together, or are well on your way to being there, because this person very well is like, you give me hope that I didn't have for myself, for my life, or for what I thought was possible. And the sheer amount of naked people in showing up here, I think, does kind of speak to the fact that they feel very vulnerable when they're around you. It's like they can't hide anything. You have an intuitive ability to really see through them. And at first, they probably found it very confronting and uncomfortable, especially because it's like, what are they seeing? Because I don't have a good opinion of myself. But now they're starting to see that maybe you saw all along things that they didn't recognize within themselves because nobody else had really taken the time to value those parts of them. When they're with you, they feel like they can finally breathe. And it's like all confusion drifts away. Like any illusions that they have about themselves, about love, about how life is supposed to work, about anything like that disappears when you're around them, which is really interesting because that's actually come out as a theme in different groups, but it's different here. This person, they feel like they can actually be the best version of themselves when they're around you, because rather than martyring themselves for you, they're starting to realize what a healthy, balanced partnership looks like, what a healthy, balanced interaction with someone who cares about you for who you are actually looks like. And that doesn't mean that the people in this person's life don't care about this person, but I do think there are expectations placed upon this person stemming from well, that's what they always do, why wouldn't they do that? And also, it seems like this person has been pigeonholed into a role of being needed, that this person has enabled because they wanted to be needed. And now they're starting to be like, oh, I actually realize it feels a lot better to be wanted than it is to be needed. And they recognize that with you, they're wanted. They're not needed. The fact that you don't need them, I think originally was a deterrent. It was actually something that kind of made them want to stay away from you, made them a little bit afraid of you, because if you didn't need them, then you could easily leave them. And I think they always felt this sense of, well, group 4 is incredible. Like, group 4 is everything I could ever ask for in a person. Like, group 4 is like a wonderful human being. And I think they just didn't see that like, it's almost like they were so convinced that like it's like they had convinced themselves that their role in life was to suffer and to carry the burdens that others couldn't and be strong for everyone, which is not the case. And in fact, I think that they have started to realize where they haven't really been able to live their own life because they've been too busy trying to save the lives of everyone else around them and keep everyone else feeling good. And in truth, like, it makes them feel good to make others feel good. But when they're with you, do you make them feel good in a way where it's like, oh, I didn't have, it's like they're skipping a step. They're like, I don't have to give of myself in this way, in a specific way, in order to receive like affection or validation or connection or kindness. And I think at first they didn't know what to do with that. And now they're like, oh my God, this is what a healthy relation looks like. This is what a healthy relationship looks like. This is what interacting with a balanced, healthy person looks like. And I think they're not only starting to recognize their own imbalances, but they're also starting to recognize that what is within you is in them too. And that not only can they cultivate it, but it's actually really easy to cultivate when they're around people who don't expect them to go out of their way to meet unnecessary needs or go out of their way to show up, period. They feel like your connection is effortless, and they feel sad when you're gone. They miss you. And also, they feel sad that they didn't realize how much they were devaluing themselves, and also how much they were allowing others to devalue them and place their worth in whether they show up or not. Like, I could see this person having a friend that's like, hey, like, can you please, like, give me a ride? Like, you're the only person who can help me. And then it becomes a regular thing where this person starts becoming their carpool. And then this person's unavailable once. And that friend is like, I always knew you were a snake. Like, don't worry, don't help me. Like, and like, will blame them and make them feel horrible. And I bet that this person in the past would have taken that guilt trip and run with it. But actually, your presence and what they've been learning and just being with you has made them realize, they're like, okay, fine. Like, they don't care, because they're like, I think they're realizing how exhausting it is to be everyone's hero. And in fact, that's not their job. They want to be, if anything, they want to be your hero. But they're like, how do I be hero when group 4's got it all together? So now I think that they're really focused on developing themselves personally. You make them want to be the best version of themselves, and that's how they feel. They feel worthy, and they realize how a lot of their relationships, and definitely romantic relationships, but also like other relationships in their life, have been based on, you are in distress and I save you. You have a need and I fix it. I am the strong one. I carry things. I do everything. And they liked that because it allows them to be in control. And it also allows them to not have to deal with their own nonsense because they're too busy dealing with everyone else's. And now that they've realized, like, I think honestly, for some of y'all, like, this person, they just reached a point where it's like, they don't even have the energy anymore. They're like, maybe in my 20s, sure, I could get away with that, but not now. Like, I think that they're just starting to realize, like, this shit is not worth it. And also, like, a lot of the people that, like, are stressing me out are, like, fully grown, capable people that I'm not responsible for. I feel like this person had to grow up really early in life and forgot that the responsibility that was placed on them wasn't necessarily fair and also wasn't necessarily obligatory once they had reached adulthood and weren't under the control and thumb of someone else. But I do see that a lot of how this person loves is through, like, being generous, like, being of service, like, being the hero for people. Like, they like that. But I think what they're also realizing is in doing that, they've really held themselves back in life. Like, I think they feel they're starting to see a sense of worth beyond material value and beyond what they can give to people. And they're seeing that because of you, because you genuinely see them for who they are. And the fact that we have the Knight of Cups here, like, they have a lot of romantic feelings towards you. And I feel like they could be planning something, like, that they're anticipating for, or maybe they're just feeling very, like, amazing. Like, I think the feeling that I would describe is like someone who has been tense and had knots in their back their entire life gets a professional massage for the first time and comes out like, oh my god, I didn't, like, that was incredible. Like, it just, like, blew their fucking mind. Like, that's what being with you feels like. Oh my god, I didn't realize things could be this good. Oh my god, I don't have to work for this. It's just given. And my presence is appreciated? What? I mean, it didn't compute for a hot minute for this person, but it is starting to. And it has established a cycle in this person where they're ready to move beyond patterns that keep them giving everything else to everyone around them and receiving nothing. Because the thing is like, when they're with you, you give them more than that cycle ever could. You give them, like, hope that they can be more than just who others need them to be. It's like, for the first time ever, your presence has really made them question, who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Like, how do I want to make an impact? And what is stopping me? Like, I feel like you are inspiring them to step up in ways that they've never felt confident doing before. And making them realize that their value is so much more than how they were conditioned to show up. And I think that it's very liberating to be in your presence and experience in real time awareness around, oh, it's fine if I'm myself, or, oh, I wasn't punished for needing time for myself. Oh, I'm okay as I am. Like, I think that it makes me really sad. Like, it kind of breaks my heart, but at the same time, it's a testament to the magic of you and the testament, like, just to your wonderful heart and the impact you've had on them. You've made them realize, like, you've made them want to step up and take responsibility for their own life in a way that they have avoided by stepping up in other people's lives instead. They feel so whole and fulfilled when they're with you. And the thing is that when you leave, when they're not with you, that feeling of wholeness continues because you awakened within them what was missing for them to feel whole on their own. And I think one thing was missing was a sense of self-worth. and a sense of recognition of their inherent value. And that's definitely something that you've done. But also I feel like you have made them feel just like the luckiest person in the whole world. And I think that they feel very romantic when they're around you. Like, you have reawakened their inner hopeless romantic. And I would say that you would probably be shocked at some of the romantic thoughts. And like, then they do have romantic fantasies around you. I also feel like they feel when they're around you this relief of like, oh my God, it feels like the past is finally leaving and like I'm finally moving forward. I don't know if this person has been in like a really intense cycle for a long time, but when they're with you, they feel like things are coming to a close in satisfying ways in terms of like how they want their life to not be and where they want to go. Like, I feel like they are closing out a cycle where the world dictated how their worth was determined and how they showed up. And now they are stepping into a place of, I see the world so much differently now because I recognize that I deserve to include myself in that picture. You're the one that proved that to them. I think they also just feel like very like they can relax around you, like they can just be themselves, and that they don't have to be so hard on themselves, like that things are not that deep. And what I mean by things are not that deep is like, this person may overthink themselves into a tizzy trying to justify wounded beliefs about themselves. Like they will look for evidence. Like, if they believe I'm not worthy unless I'm giving of myself to others at all times, they might look for evidence of that worldview to prove themselves correct, because the guilt and shame of not doing that in the past has been more powerful than that part of them that's like, but I'm tired of putting my life on hold for other people. At one point they were okay with it because I think they were afraid of it's like they didn't want to deal with themselves, but your influence has really made them be like, nah, I gotta step up. I gotta step up in my own life and set these proper boundaries so that I can spend more time with group 4. Like, I feel like that's 100%, like with this OV anticipation, like I feel like when they're with you, they feel really excited for their future. And I think they see a future with you. And I think that will become more and more evident as time goes on. But I would be willing to bet you can already feel it. And I would also be willing to bet that as this person is starting to feel more secure in themselves, they are becoming more less reserved and more like, you might even just feel a lightness around them, and that's because of you. Like, you are a huge light in their life, and honestly, like the person that has touched them the most deeply, maybe literally, but also you are the person that let them be themselves instead of who they feel they need to be. And that was like life-changing for them. It blew their mind. And it's something that they still think about every time they're with you, where they're like, wow, like they're discovering new parts of themselves that they never knew that they had when they're with you. And I also think you're helping them access more gentleness and nurturing for themselves, and see where maybe their worldview or their view of themselves has been really harsh and has made it challenging for them to move beyond the cycles they've been stuck in because of their belief systems. So you're creating a lot of expansion in what they believe about the world and what they want for their future. There's just something so fulfilling when they're with you. And I'm just hearing, they say in heaven, love comes first. Well, with you, heaven is a place on earth. And I do genuinely think that's how they feel. Okay. Yeah. Yep, I think they want you all the time. And I think they're just excited. Like in general, it's like you make them feel like they can rest. You make them feel like they're more than they thought they were, and you make them feel hope again. You make them feel like there's hope for them, and that their future isn't as written in stone as they thought it was. That's partially, I think, just because this person tends to be pretty stubborn, but they've been growing and learning so much. We're not gonna get on them for that. I feel very happy for this person, and I hope that you feel a sense of validation, just in the sense that, like, your presence is incredibly impactful, and the patience that you've put in is I hope you're seeing the value in the patience that you've put in to this situation. So what would this person say? What would this person add on and say to group 4? Reach out. If you forgot to text them back, they might be waiting to hear from you, or also they just maybe want to hear from you. I guess if this, I really wasn't, like, I got past person situation energy in 2 of the other groups. If this reading resonates for someone who's not currently in your life right now, this could be your validation that this reading is for you if everything else resonates. But I would check out those 2 readings as well, because those will probably give you more insight and information than this reading is, because, like, this reading was very strongly like this is someone in your life. But I mean, they technically are in your life anyway, even if you're not interacting with them right now. But yeah, I feel like they might just want to see you. But I also think there is something to the ways in which you've reached out to them and lended them grace, lended them a hand that has really made them see you as, like, the one, as, like, a really special person. But what else would this person say to group 4, please? I am obsessed with your body. Yeah, I do think there is some spicy energy here. And I think what's crazy to them too is, like, the physical component to your connection is just one thing. And I actually feel like this person, like, they kind of hold back how much, like, physical attraction they have to you, because they don't want you to think that's all that they're interested in. But if you have any insecurities with your body and when you're around them, I feel like this is a sign for them to say, like, don't, because I adore it. But, like, we just had 2 cards come out. I don't know what's on here, but I lie awake thinking about our future, and I think that's incredibly validating, because they do. There we go. I want a fresh start with you. So this doesn't have to be because you guys had a history together that was messy. Could be. But I like, also see this as, like, I want a fresh start in life, and I want it with you. Like, this World card, and it even matches. Like, I love how what's surrounding the world is, like, the Ouroboros. And, like, you know, when you think about, like, the snake and biblical lore, you know, it's sin, it's temptation, it's all that stuff, it's the earthly, but it's like they want to shed their skin and have a fresh start in life, period, for the first time as their true self, and they want it with you. This could be related to a past thing, but I think on a much deeper level, like, they want a full life reset, fresh start, and they want it with you. That's what they want, period. So, okay. Let's just go ahead and pull a guidance card for you and see what guidance Spirit has for you when it comes to this situation, please. Okay, so Spirit, what guidance do you have for group number 4 when it comes to this situation? What do my group 4s need to know at this time for their highest good, please? We have another boob. I love this for me. Okay. I've never had so many censorship crystals in my life. Okay. So we have the sacred well. Replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. I know that they feel that way when they're with you, but maybe a lot of this sounded like you too, and maybe you've got some self-care to do as well. If I can find where the card is. Okay, here we go. The sacred well is a resting place, a recovery place, a healing place. It's somewhere for weary travelers to be replenished, a place where we can receive and resource in order to go back out into the world and give. As the adage says, we can only give to others what we've given to ourselves or have ourselves been given. How full is your inner well? Are you giving from a place of overspilling plenty, or are you overextending and giving from parched land? Self-care has come to be regarded as a somewhat frivolous, luxurious practice. However, self-care is much more fundamental than that. It's about resourcing ourselves in a rhythmic way. This doesn't necessarily need to involve splurging on an expensive spa break or vacation. It could simply be taking time out in nature with the sun on your back. It could be spending an extra 5 minutes each morning to slowly drink your cup of tea, or running a bath with essential oils when the children are asleep. If we're relying on our reserves to sustain us, eventually our inner well will run dry. And when we reach this place, it takes an awful lot to return to a state of balance. Do you feel guilty for putting yourself first? Do you question whether you should give yourself what you really truly yearn for? How can you reprioritize your energetic well-being? The sacred well is calling us to come home to it and frequent it in a rhythmic way. So I think that this is really saying, like, hey, so this same thing that we just talked about is in you too. And I think that you underestimate it because you're very good at convincing yourselves you don't need it in the same way. And like, I do think that while you do get replenishment, you forget when you need it. But also I feel like this is also just talking about this connection. Like, I think that this connection is kind of self-care. Like, you gain plenty from being around one another. And like, this connection is an example of how you can replenish yourself and how you can like make sure that you are also in a place of receptivity when you're with them, because it does seem like you may want to give to them from a place of like, I know like you've been giving all of yourself to everyone else and like you want to give your full self to them, but it's like, okay, yeah, but they don't want you doing what they do to other people. Like, they won't, like, the same things that apply to them apply to you too. And they want you to feel cared for, replenished, and nourished. And if they can do that in any way, they will definitely want you to let them know. So group number 4, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, at least for the first 30 seconds while you do something else. I don't expect you to watch them, especially, you know how I feel about our corporate overlords. But with that being said, I just really appreciate you being here. Other ways to support, like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know how it resonates. Click the little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Check out other videos, ones with extendeds. You can sign up for my email list so that you can be notified about things like new readings, get little freebies, exclusive access to things, so on and so forth. But that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me review. Oh, you can leave me a tip. Cashapp, palehag, PayPal, email. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video. I love you guys so much. I hope this reading resonated and brought you clarity, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!